Thank you. Hello and welcome to South County Fire's Change of Command ceremony. I'd like to introduce our Honor Guard Commander, Matt Stiefel, for the presentation of colors.
Would the audience please rise for presentation of colors? The audience may be seated. I'd like to welcome Captain Greg Rudiger for the welcome message.
Hello. Welcome. South County Fire's Change of Command ceremony. This is the first time in the history of South County Fire that this has been done, and the first time in my 48 years in the planet and in the fire service that I've ever heard of this being done. This is a true testament to South County Fire's organization, the leadership, and the belief in the personnel and the direction of the organization from not only our elected officials, our administrative staff, our uniformed personnel, families, and the communities we serve. It's progressive. It's honoring the people who dedicate their lives to serving the community and helping others. This is more than a formal transition of leadership. It's a symbol of trust, responsibility, and a rich tradition of the fire service in recognizing one fire chief to another. This moment, we want to thank, honor, and acknowledge Chief Eastman for his continuous dedication to not only the fire service, but his military career in serving humankind. We also want to welcome the new guidance and the continued dedication of Chief Maxwell. It's very, very special knowing both of them on a personal and professional level, to have this opportunity to further the greatness of this organization. This is a truly special occasion to respect the past, to acknowledge the present, and to the commitment of the future here at South County Fire. I apologize to the other organizations who are in the room, but you got some big shoes to follow us at South County Fire. And this is a representation of what we're doing. With this, it's going to be a couple-part ceremony. We're first going to be recognizing and acknowledging the commitment and the accomplishments of retiring Chief Bob Eastman, and we'll also be welcoming, swearing in, taking over the leadership, Chief Maxwell. With that, we'll have a series of speakers. First one is going to be Assistant Chief Todd Anderson to speak about Chief Eastman. Before we begin that, I got so excited. This is so much fun. We got to get it right. We got to honor the big man upstairs. Let's have the invocation by Chaplain Bob Westlander.
Thank you, Greg. And this is a special time for me. And it is appropriate that we're doing this in the field and not in some, fancy office someplace. And for me, the last change of command that I was participating in the field, the one we were saying goodbye to was not there. And so that was in November of 1967 in Vietnam. And so I'm pleased that you guys are both here, so thank you. Join me now as we pray. Heavenly Father, it is with gratitude that we come to you. Today, as we recognize a change of command, We give thanks for the vital services rendered over many years. We pray your blessing on Chief Eastman and his family. May they find opportunities for rest, relaxation, the enjoyment of family times together in their retirement. We also give thanks for the continuity in our mission going forward. And we would ask your blessing on Chief Maxwell and his team. Lord, as our people assume changing roles and responsibilities, may the principles outlined in our values continue to direct our policies. Lord, we try to govern our lives, our relationships by what we anticipate, by what we expect to see in our future, and by what we want, what we desire to see in our future. Yet you alone are the only one who knows our future, so we seek your guidance. Help us to align our ambitions around our purpose and rightly prioritize the factors that influence how we work together in order and in decency, with compassion, in service to our community, to its people. May we remember that our country is all about the people. We are the people, a people under God. Let us not forget the future will hold us accountable to the people and to you. I thank you for giving the knowledge, the many skills and abilities represented in those here today, and in those you will continue to bring our way. Increase our expertise and our understanding of truth. Lord, help us as we grow in life experience and in our knowledge of you. I pray that each one would be blessed with wisdom, the divine wisdom that comes from you, the only wisdom that can enable us to consistently do the right thing at the right time, in the right way, for the right reasons, always doing for our common good. May we strive to maintain a conscience void of offense towards you, so that all our efforts may ultimately come together for our good, for the protection of life, property, the preservation of liberty in peace and with joy for all our people, all our first responders, and all those with whom, to whom, and for whom we serve. This I pray in the holy name of Jesus Christ, my Savior. Amen.
Our first speaker for Chief Eastman is going to be Assistant Chief Todd Anderson.
Good morning, everyone. I always have to stand back. That's my first test to see if I'm too close or not, but obviously this works better. So this is a bittersweet day for me personally. Bob's kind of a mystery to a lot of people, not so much to me. I've got the privilege and honor of spending time with him and getting to know him. When I first went to work in admin, I was working underneath Chief Eastman. At the time, he was an assistant chief, and I would go see him a lot. And we'd spend hours going over stuff that would bore you to death. A lot of strategic model, a lot of benefit charge, a lot of RFA planning. It was soon evident to me that Chief Eastman was always forward-thinking, and he was very strategic. That was his strength. He didn't get to share that with a lot of people, but I considered it a privilege and an honor to be able to learn from him and to spend that time with him. And I'm going to miss you a lot. So I'm going to go down some things here because he's a very accomplished guy, and I think it's important that you hear some of the things that he has accomplished in his career and in his life. Well, first off, Chief Eastman has spent more than 40 years in the fire service. He's also 25 years of service for our country in the military, served in the U.S. Coast Guard 1987 to 1991. He was in the Air National Guard from 1994 to 2013. And he's also a combat veteran who spent time and was deployed in 2007 to Iraq. He was hired by District 11 in 1996 as a firefighter paramedic. He carried many titles as he fulfilled his career here. Captain, medical service officer, hazmat technician, deputy chief, assistant chief, and finally fire chief. He was also a union president at one time for this local. Chief Eastman, Since that day, Chief Eastman has been involved in every significant issue in South County Fire for the last 20 years. He helped draft the Regional Fire Authority Plan approved in 2017 to form South County Fire. He was instrumental in implementing a voter-approved benefit charge. He was a key player in all city annexations into the RFA, including Briar, Mill Creek, Mount Lake Terrace, and recently Edmonds. He was a critical leader in a countywide response to the COVID pandemic, helping organize mass vaccination sites, and so much more. He also spent a lot of time in DEM during that time, helping the county fulfill a lot of resource needs. This year, Chief Eastman was instrumental in implementing a redeployment plan that allowed us to uncross-staff the entire RFA. He established fire prevention as a core function of the RFA. He led our team to create an organizational roadmap strategic plan that will put South County Fire on a path to success for many years to come. Some would call him analytical or strategic. Some call him bold, but I will always call him Chief Eastman. So I'm just gonna miss you, bud. Sorry, it's kind of hard for me, but I'm gonna pass this on to the next person to speak. So thank you, Bob, for everything you did.
That was really unfair that he started to choke up at the end, because I was doing fine until then. So we're gonna see if I can get through this without crying. I'm not gonna look at Bob, that's what I'm gonna do. No, you can look at me all you want, I'm not gonna look at you. I'm Paula Swisher, for those of you who don't know me. I am the city clerk treasurer for the city of Briar, and as of the beginning of January, I ended my term as the Briar liaison to the RFA board. That is not where my relationship with Chief Eastman started. It started approximately 22 years ago when I was sent by my mayor to Fire District 1 to meet with a couple of gentlemen, one by the name of Bill Cushman and the other one by the name of Bob Eastman. I was there for them to teach me how to use a strategic planning model. Just for the record, I never learned how to use it. During that meeting, one of the first things I said to both of them was that I am probably one of the most straightforward people you will ever meet, and I cuss like a sailor. Bob's response was to look at Bill and say, I think I'm gonna like this gal. Since then, we've had, touches because of our jobs. In 2012, I was asked by my mayor to sit in on the financial planning meetings for what could be a potential RFA. Luckily, Bob was willing to help bring me up to speed because it was council members who were supposed to be sitting on those things, and I had missed some meetings. So he spent some time assisting me and teaching me what I needed to know to go back to my mayor and council and explain it to them. Fast forward to 2021, when annexation into the RFA conversation started again. Bob and I were having regular conversations and meetings about the potential of bringing Briar into the RFA. I had a lot to learn, and Bob was happy to teach me so that I could understand and convey the information not only to my electeds, but also to the constituents in Briar. Go to August 2023, when I was appointed to serve as the Briar liaison, and I got to sit across the room from Bob. And there have been a lot of messages conveyed across that boardroom without anything being said by the two of us. It was amazing to get to watch how the fire service worked from the inside and to see the commitment and dedication of Bob, as well as all of the others. But he truly is, like Todd said, forward-thinking, and he wants to see this organization grow and thrive, and he wants to see all the people in it grow and thrive. And that was very impressive to me. Bob's leadership style was different than his predecessor because he knew he was only going to hold this position for a short time, and he wanted to empower the people around him to take more ownership and lead the organization so that when he stepped down, the rank and file would already feel comfortable with the people who are being left to lead the organization. I personally think he did a great job at that. Other people might not agree with me, but whatever. I'm so proud of everything that you have accomplished in the RFA. During your long tenure, you have brought this organization from District 1 to the RFA with just Linwood to now you have 5 cities. You have been an amazing leader. Witnessing you moving this organization forward and to lead and strive to be the best has been an honor that I've been able to sit across the room and help watch it happen. I've enjoyed getting to work closely with you and developed what I believe is a lasting relationship. I will miss you and the laughs we've had, and I know you're leaving the organization in great hands. Congratulations, Shaughn. You'll do a fantastic job. Bob, as you head into retirement, I wish you stress-free evenings with no meetings, relaxation and lazy days by the lake fishing with a glass of something in your hand, and precious time with your family, because you have worked really hard and dedicated your life to the service of others. And we thank you for that in all of our communities, in all the ways that you have served us, the country. You are a pillar, and I am going to miss you, my friend.
Good morning. Wow, there's a lot of people here. Good afternoon. My name is Dave Kraske. I'm the fire chief for the North County Regional Fire Authority up in the north part of the county. And I was a bit surprised and honored when Susan reached out a couple weeks ago and asked me if I would speak. And on Sunday, I got to thinking, I better think about what I'm going to say. So I put a little time into this, and I'm going to talk about both Bob and Shaughn, because as I reflected back, I've known you both for a long time. We're here to celebrate 2 journeys that have touched lives, shaped an organization, and strengthened a community. Recognizing 2 men, 2 leaders of South County Regional Fire Authority who've worked together for nearly 30 years. Today we honor 2 defining moments in this organization's history. One leader closing a remarkable chapter and stepping into the well-earned peace of retirement, and another rising forward with the determination and vision to carry South County Fire through the end of this decade and maybe beyond. Shaughn, we'll see what your resilience is. Bob, Chief Eastman, you and I have known each other for over 25 years. We first met in the late 1990s. My organization, Arlington Fire, had recently affiliated with the International Association of Firefighters, and I was the founding president. Your organization, Fire District 11, sponsored us to attend the Washington State Council of Firefighters Convention in Spokane Valley. A few years later, our daughters attended the same preschool in Arlington. We frequently were able to catch up. Scott Hamilton and his son Bo were part of that group, and we would frequently pick up the kids and reflect back. A large part of your career has been spent at some level or area of fire administration. Fire administration is the less glamorous or publicized part of the fire service. Spreadsheets on apparatus replacement plans and budget modeling do not make the headlines like second alarm fires. Nonetheless, one cannot be successful without the other. You have been instrumental in the growth, consolidation, and financial stability of the fire service in South Snohomish County. From your original department, Snohomish County Fire District 11, to the consolidation with Fire District 1, followed by the contracts for service with individual cities to the formation of the South County Regional Fire Authority with the cities of Linwood, Edmonds, Mount Lake Terrace, Briar, and Mill Creek, all together with much of unincorporated South Snohomish County. You've been an architect, is really the best way to describe it, in building an organization to what it is today. And most importantly, the formation of the fire benefit charge and the financial stability it has and will provide into the future. You should be proud of all you've accomplished. When I think of you moving off to Minnesota and living on a lake, and I've seen many pictures of houses he was considering, narrowing it down, I can only visualize Walter Matthau and grumpy old men gearing up to head off to his little fishing shack for ice fishing, and I wish you the best. Enjoy. Shaughn, as I reflected back the last few weeks on how and when we met, I was reminded of the Community Emergency Response Program. In the late 90s, a director at the Snohomish County Department of Emergency Management, I cannot remember her last name. Her first name was Sam, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what her last name was. She went throughout Snohomish County recruiting people to be CERT instructors, and you and I were both part of that group. I think we first met one evening in Arlington. I was teaching a class, and you and your wife attended, and I say this jokingly, you attended to hustle some home preparedness kits that you'd created as a side venture. Your career, projects, and accomplishments have impacted so many organizations. You were hired in the first wave of ALS providers at Fire District 11. You helped build a new program. You've always played a leadership role in EMS and delivery in Snohomish County. Your knowledge, abilities, and intellect have spread, and you began lecturing on a regional and national level, putting a spotlight on the good work done here in Snohomish County. Your list of accomplishments is long and includes things like the EMS check sheet, a reference book carried on ALS and BLS units far and wide. When the unnormal or seldom seen call occurs, a provider can quickly reference the checklist to confirm a protocol, a medication, or a path of delivery. It really is in everyone's best interest to have ketamine administered properly. You develop this like a military pilot's pre-flight checklist at a very in-depth level. You know your organization so well. You are surrounded and supported by a strong and capable group who will help you succeed. As you settle in over the next year, always remember the why. Why we exist, to provide and support our communities in the best possible way with emergency services that are efficient, trained, and well-equipped to mitigate the problem for which we were summoned. We all have shortcomings. Nobody is perfect. We can't all have hair like Joe Hughes. If you had hair like Joe Hughes, you'd be the lead singer in a boy band. And as I thought about this, Picknell and Turner would be your entourage. Nicole would be politely but sternly asking people to step back, and Turner would just be tossing people like a human yard sale. You cannot know everything occurring in the organization. Success comes in putting the right people in the right places and succeeding as a team. Nonetheless, I and all of us here today have no doubt you will be successful in leading the organization into the future. Chief O'Brien once commented to me, "It's lonely at the top." He was right. You are navigating a path with the Board of Commissioners on one side and the union on the other. Some weeks you manage to avoid hitting the bumpers, and some weeks you get beat like a piñata at a 6-year-old's birthday. Reach out when you need an ear, support, or just lunch to tell me how much everyone or someone is irritating you. A small group of your peers and I will understand. Good luck, you will do great, and we all look forward to working with you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ed Wittis. I'm a fire commissioner now, retired as fire chief at District 1 in 2016, and I'm here to speak about Bob. And kind of interesting because they went ahead and said, hey, do you have a few minutes you could talk about him? I'm going, maybe a couple hours. But I'll be as brief as I can. Just a couple experiences I've had with him. I remember when, yes, I'm the one responsible for hiring him. You know, it happened. And he was coming from out of state. Well, we never brought many people in from out of state, so we weren't sure how it was. You got to relocate, you've got to figure out how you're going to get a house, and we're trying to figure out what we can do. And I remember talking to him, and he's saying, well, the affordability up here, it costs quite a bit. I said, the further north you get, it's a little better, and the further east you get, it's a little better. Well, he looks at me and he goes, well, I want to get a place by an airport because I need to park my plane. And I looked at him, and it was like an explosion going off where you can see the lips moving, but I can't hear anything after that. So that was kind of how I felt, but I didn't realize then that having a plane in Nevada is like having a boat in Puget Sound. So it felt better later. The next experience I had with him really was as union president. And I just want to use one of his quotes to kind of speak about that. We'll get over that one. Yeah, that's the best thing I could think of. Yeah. And then the next thing was we did the consolidations. We were working together, and I was kind of blessed because I don't know how many chief officers. I had assistant chiefs. I had chiefs that became assistant chiefs, deputy chiefs, and Bob was a captain on days. I think that was a union thing they gave him to me. I wasn't sure what that was, but one captain on days. We're having a staff meeting, and at the staff meeting, there's nothing but brass at the table, and Bob's weighing back because he's a captain, felt that was where it was. We just got done passing a law about the fire benefit charge. Don't know that much about it. It was a cool thing. I look around the room, and I say, hey, I need some help. Do we have somebody here that can help me figure out the benefit charge? And all the chief officers looked straight down at the agenda. I didn't see eye contact with any of them. I look in the back of the room. Here's Bob. Can I help? And sure enough, look what he's done since then. But I think some of the stuff that's the most impressive that I've seen with them is working with the Edmonds contract. We merged Val Lake Terrace and Briar, brought their people in, and then there's Edmonds, and myself and Commissioner Kenny, we were kind of at the limelight of it. We were there where people could see us, we were at the meetings, but Bob went ahead and met with every single council member. It was a big deal to the city. They were giving away their people, their fire department. The consolidation or the annexation was kind of easy compared to what that was, because we had to sell every council member on how to do it, and it would be good. And he spent endless hours working with every single council member to get them to get on board to do that. So if it wasn't for his time and effort, we would not have what we have today. And for that, I'll always be grateful. And it's been an honor working with you, being with you this whole career. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Jim Kenny, Fire Commissioner and Chair of the South County Fire Board of Commissioners. We're here to celebrate Bob's retirement after 30 years working in the fire service for South County Fire and for its predecessors. Bob has a gifted ability with data and analytical skills that have really been a tremendous value add to the Board of Commissioners. He's been at the forefront of all of our more complex issues that have needed that type of analysis, and he brings a set of skills related to that that is unusual amongst fire chiefs. Significant issues that have been mentioned previously, like the fire benefit charge, and having that passed by the voters and then reenacted by the voters, the ground emergency medical transport issue, GEMT, budgeting issues, tremendous work on multiple annexations which have been mentioned previously, the financial pieces, the assessed value, the taxation. All of those issues are in play and how to make those come together. More recently, the issues of TIF, tax increment financing. All of these complex issues that take time and effort to analyze and then talk to and persuade people about what to do with them. But in addition to those type of analytical skills, Bob is a relationships person. He knows a lot of people in the community. He's also a big talker. And so when you're talking to him, like after a meeting would be very typical, a board meeting, he's talking about something he's passionate about, and it's going on. It's after 10 o'clock, I'm looking at my watch, and he keeps on talking. Sometimes you just gotta say, Bob, we'll pick it up tomorrow, or we'll talk by the phone tomorrow. Big talker, but I always enjoyed talking with Bob about all of the different issues, because he's got a lot going on in that mind. Bob also has an ability to read a room, kind of an empathy based on the audience that he's talking to, whether it's one person or 100 people. At the end of the day, Bob leaves South County Fire better than he found it. And I want to end quoting from the resolution that the Board of Commissioners passed last Tuesday. Last Tuesday was our last board meeting of the month. It was Bob's last board meeting as as a chief, and I'm sure he's going to enjoy those Tuesday nights, not at board meetings in the future. But we passed a resolution. I'm not going to go through all the whereas clauses, but I did want to mention the resolved clause and quote from it. Be it resolved that the South County Fire Board of Commissioners commends Robert Eastman for his distinguished years of dedicated service, leadership of South County Fire employees, and adhering to the highest standards in meeting the public safety needs of the citizens of South Snohomish County. We wish you well in retirement, and I do as well, and we have a framed copy for Bob. Congratulations.
You're up, dude, as you once told me. You get to come up here. I would like to introduce Matt Stiefel, the Honor Guard Commander, for the presentation of your flag and your axe.
Chief? So as you know, Local 1828, we have a tradition. When a member retires, although no longer a part of Local 1828, when you left as a member in good standing, you now retire with a flag that was flown over your last station, headquarters, and an axe presented from Local 1828. Fire Chief Bob Eastman. His flag was flown over headquarters. Thank you for your 30 years of service, South County Fire. Fire Chief Bob Eastman.
I just want to personally acknowledge and thank Chief Eastman for not only having the best hair that any fire chief could ever have, it's always perfect, for taking the personal interest in not only advancing South County Fire, but the fire service in general, and taking South County Fire from what was a multitude of 2- and 3-station departments into what would be considered one of the premier fire departments, not only in Washington, but in the nation. I personally want to thank you for believing in me and what we're doing here. In a zero-budget year, Chief Eastman and his leadership staff believed in what we were doing to create the position of the Captain of Health and Safety for our people. And without that position, I don't know that I would be here. So I want to thank you personally for that. And I also want to thank you, we joked about it, but thank you for going out there and shaking hands and kissing babies and furthering the empire as the fire chief, because we're in a much better spot. And we know that behind every great man is an even better woman. So Robin, I'd like you to come up, please. We have some flowers for you that Bob's going to present to you.
I never do this. So you guys all know. Is it 36? 37, 36? I forget it. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, Fire Chief Bob Eastman.
quiet, hold on. Commissioner Kenny told you, I talk. Yeah, so I'm humbled at the people that turned out, and there's people that I met 30 years ago. I got hired in April of '96. Started my fire service career in '91, started my EMS career in '84. It's been a long time, and it's been one hell of a run. And they always tell you you don't want to regret anything, and I can honestly say I don't. I think we've done great things. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect. We've made mistakes along the way. And I guess there's a lot of accolades that have been given to me by dear friends of mine who I will remember forever, and for you in the audience that I've touched or you've touched me. The successes that this organization have, you've all had a piece of it. I look at the men and women wearing South County's uniform. My success was because of them. I look at the admin folks, the folks that do the work to let the folks in the streets go do the great work they do. This wasn't my show. I had the privilege of leading the organization for a short time. But I'm hoping that you in uniform realize, and the admin staff, commissioners, we did this together. I just had the privilege of doing some things that got a little bit of face time and got a lot of credit for work that was done by every single person in this organization. And I hope you know that. And it's not lost on me, and I hope you're proud of it, because where this organization was in 1996 when I got hired, and where the organization is today, there's not a whole lot of folks in their fire service career. And mine's been a little bit unique. I had the privilege, as Chief Wittes said, I walked in his office one day and I said, how can I help you? There's a lot of stuff going on, and he let me help, and I didn't realize what that actually meant. But he put a little bit of trust in a very young captain in the organization at the time, and let me grow. And that was, at the time, we were District 11. We shortly became District 1. I don't think anybody back in that day would have envisioned that we'd be the size we are today. If I remember correctly, when I got hired, it was eventually the district will go away, and you'll be working for one of the city departments. Fast forward 30 years later, not the case. And that's not and the trend in the whole state's doing something different. So I guess I want to say thanks. And there's too many people in this room to name. But I do want to say thanks, because there's a lot of things, again, that I got credit for that you all did. And I just happened to be at the place, whether I was talking to the board, whether I was talking to other electeds, you guys actually did the work. And I just want to say thanks. I will also tell you that this organization, Shaughn will take the helm, and the goal being is we're not going to skip a beat, and we're going to continue to go down the road. We've got a plan. We've been working on the plan diligently for a year. The relationship between labor and the board and the board and staff, we've done some things from a communications perspective. I think that we're at the top right now. Shaughn, your task is to keep it going. And there's no doubt in my mind that you'll be able to continue that forward. And I'm going to be very grateful, looking from far away, and watch where this organization goes, because it's full of greatness. And I think the beginning's just starting. We've done a lot. I think there's where we're going to go, sky's the limit. So again, thank you for everybody, for all the elected that showed up that I've worked with in the past, for the folks that I spent in the trenches. I look at Jason Bierman back there and his team. I look at the other fire chiefs who supported me as I go. I look at the staff who, you guys know who you are. And I really, truly hope I left it better than I found it. So again, thanks.
Now to welcome our new fire chief, Shaughn Maxwell. To start the speaking is going to be Assistant Chief Todd Anderson again.
Okay, this is a little bit more fun. So, this is going to bring Shaughn back a little bit. The first time I met Shaughn, it was about 1999 or 2000, and we were in an Officer Development Academy out of King County. And we had people, I mean, this is going to date us back, like Tanaka was in there from Everett, Shaughn was in there from District 1, I was in there at the time from Edmonds Fire. There was a handful of officers that were in there from King County. And I had probably about 10 months to get to know him at least once or twice a month through that academy. And what strikes you with Shaughn is he's just humble. He's just this guy with this huge heart. And rarely do you find him not smiling. And the fun part about that is when you have an individual like this too, is you can stress him out easy too. But nobody can match his energy, and that holds true today. He has a sense of energy about him that just has to complete a task, and multiple tasks at a time. Nothing but the best of time coming to work. He inspires me, and board, if you want to know who you elected somebody who inspires their people. Because it's a complete joy to come to work and see his face first thing in the morning. And I'm looking forward to this next run. I think Chief Eastman advocated heavy for you. I know the board did, and I know staff did as well. You're a perfect choice for this. What I don't think you know about Shaughn is how nationally recognized he is. Some of you do, but if you go to conferences, if you go to the I-Chiefs, the International Association of Firefighters, or Chiefs Association, you will find at that national conference, there's not one person he doesn't know on that national board. And he sits on the board on the EMS side of it. So he has some huge accomplishments. And so I want to read through a little bit of that. Christy made me a list. This isn't my list, but let me tell you, Bob, he's got 2 sheets. 38 years in the emergency service. Started volunteering for Okanagan County in 1988. You were 16 years old, right? So I think he kind of had a good direction of what he wanted to do with his life. Worked wildland firefighting. Started out as EMT, in search of, also involved with search and rescue before becoming a paramedic in 1994. Hired in 1996 by Fire District 1, served as a captain, paramedic, medical service officer, medical unit leader for the National Wildfire Coordinating Group, and deputy chief of EMS for South County Fire before becoming assistant chief of EMS Health and Safety. Chief Maxwell has always been committed to growth, both in the fire service and personally. If you didn't know, he holds a bachelor's with, let me see here, I didn't know your bachelor's degree. I knew your master's, but apologize for that. The professional development and advanced patient care, and a master's in psychology with an emphasis on human factors. Those bring up some interesting conversations. He has a passion for human performance, and if you didn't know, he spent time down at Top Gun in San Diego, correct? With their leaders, learning how they train in that Top Gun program. And he brought it back, and he's got a lot of good ideas for what that equates to for integrating into leadership. Let's see here, U.S. Coast Guard Advanced Helicopter Rescue School. Spent some time with them as well. And collaborated with NASA, FEMA, USFA, and also, it says here, White House. I'm not aware of those, but I trust that you'd work with some people out there as well. Contributions have earned local, regional, and national awards, including one for Congressional Fire Service Institution for Excellence in EMS. He has twice been named one of the top EMS innovators in the nation. Quite the list. I'm going to skip to the second page. During the pandemic, he worked with NASA to lead and develop a UV decontamination techniques and in fire and EMS response manual that was shared across the United States and Canada. This isn't even nearly a full list of what Chief's accomplishments are, but we're going to have to limit it because the time that we have. But I'm looking forward to our next step, and I'm excited about what you're going to do. And like I said, it's been a pleasure and a joy to work with you day in, day out. So I'm ready to roll here. Congratulations.
I'd like to bring up Commissioner Kinney for the swearing in and badge pinning of new Fire Chief Shaughn Maxwell. You're up, dude.
All right, Chief, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Shaughn Maxwell,
I, Shaughn Maxwell,
as the Fire Chief
as the Fire Chief
of the Snohomish County Fire and Rescue
of the Snohomish County Fire and Rescue
Regional Fire Authority,
Regional Fire Authority,
swear that I will support
swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Washington,
and the Constitution of the State of Washington,
and I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of Fire Chief
of Fire Chief
of the South Snohomish County Fire and Rescue Regional Fire Authority,
of the South Snohomish County Fire and Rescue Regional Fire Authority,
and I pledge
and I pledge
to carry out
to carry out
the duties
the duties
of Fire Chief
of Fire Chief
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
and will honor
and will honor
and respect
and respect
the mission,
the mission,
goals,
goals,
purpose,
purpose,
and policies
and policies
of the South Snohomish County Fire and Rescue Regional Fire Authority,
of the South Snohomish County Fire and Rescue Regional Fire Authority.
and I recognize
And I recognize
the badge of my office
the badge of my office
as a symbol
as a symbol
of public faith
of public faith
and trust,
and trust,
and I accept,
and I accept,
so long as I am true
so long as I am true
to the ethics
to the ethics
of the fire service,
of the fire service,
and make these promises
and make these promises
so solemnly,
so solemnly,
freely,
freely,
and upon my honor.
and upon my honor.
Fire Chief Shaughn Maxwell. Shaughn, I want to say thank you. And as my boss, Mike's not here. I'm his secretary, you're my boss. For everything that you're doing for this organization on the human performance side, your servant leadership is second to none. It's a model for everyone around here, not only in the fire service, but in the private sector. The research that you've done, the places that you've traveled, the impact that you've made on special forces, on the private sector, and the fire service are truly remarkable. Thank you for taking the leash off of me and letting me run crazy and do what we need to do to further the human performance that we need to do. I'm very humbled and grateful to work with you. And I have to embarrass you a little bit with the story. I like to make breakfast for everybody at headquarters, so I made chorizo burritos, no surprise. He was in his office with Dr. Campbell. The door was cracked, which means that's an opening for me. I walk in with breakfast because there's no rank when it comes to food. And him and Dr. Campbell are like, shh. And I go, what? It's breakfast. I go, what, are you on the phone with the White House? And they both went, yes. I said, well, they're not getting chorizo burritos, so there you go. Shaughn, thank you for everything you've done, and we look forward to where you're taking us. Fire Chief Shaughn Maxwell.
It's a lot easier facing that way. You guys really filled up this room. First, Chair Kenny and our board, I am extremely grateful for this opportunity to serve, so thank you. Thank you for that trust. Chief Eastman, I'll just say it's been an honor because I probably couldn't say much more than that. And to my wife and family, anyone in this business knows that they sacrifice a lot that nobody sees, so thank you. South County Fire, it was formed by the communities of South County and the cities of South County coming together. And through this, we've risen to be a nationally known leader that provides exceptional service and innovative programs. And I think it truly stands as a testament of what we can do when we work together. Even with these achievements, I reflected on why I would take this job, but why I'm truly so proud to be associated with the people in this organization. And all the first responders they're a special breed, but I feel like I work with some of the most compassionate, caring, and capable people around, and I'm just I just feel like it's a privilege to be a part of that. The most important, through all my research, through everything I've looked at, I've truly learned the most important response asset that comes on the big red truck or the big red box is truly the human on board and taking care of that human. And I think the most important responsibility of us is to take care of the people who take care of the people. We do face some challenges. I mean, our frontline crews are strained. Our society is changing. There's violence. There's mental health issues. There's an opiate crisis. We are a growing and busy organization. We have so many people behind the scenes working to take care of the people who take care of the people. And even our buildings and structures are aging and strained, but these are opportunities to look at them and go, how do we serve better in the future? So in closing, I'm excited for this opportunity to invest in building strong people, strong buildings, so that we can move into the future being reliable, resilient, and ready to serve the community. So with that, thank you for this honor.
This is quite the ceremony we have. I want to thank our Board of Commissioners, the elected officials, the fire chiefs, the dignitaries, staff personnel, and most importantly, the families for coming out and supporting us. I want to especially thank Susan and Christy and Shaughnery and Megan and our support staff and Laurel and the support staff at our organization. Because what Bob and Shaughn also did was we believe that our organization is a family where rank does not apply. And these people took time out of their designated work day to come out here and make sure chairs were set up and refreshments were here and flowers were cut, Susan, and they were done excellently. It's a big deal. And that's what Bob has left us with. That's what, Shaughn, you get to carry. And For everybody here, I want to thank you for taking time out to honor these men for their service. Let it be an example for you moving forward. Remember what this feels like, because one day we're all going to be here. Now go enjoy some refreshments, tell some funny stories. God bless you all. Have a great day.